p.m. Clubhouse at 3801 Lakeside Club Boulevard here in Fort Myers, Florida. We're here for the Pine Ridge Fort Myers Village 1 Condominium Association notice for association meeting of the members of the Board of Directors. Well, let's get started with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kathy, would you call a roll, please?
Yes. Tom McIntyre.
Here.
Skip Zimmerman.
Here.
Jen Miranda. Here. Kathy Levin. Here. Scott Harris.
Here.
Ken Jerome.
Absent.
And Michael Alon.
Absent. Was this meeting properly noticed? Yes. Okay, we're ready for the open forum, and Ed and Pat, Ricky, or Pat, I guess.
Yeah. You wouldn't let me talk anymore.
You wanted to sing either, would you?
It ain't working though, trust me.
Thank you. I just want to thank Ed, Glenn, Al, and Jim, who helped cook everything for 4th of July. It was so stinking hot out there, and you were a runner bringing stuff back and forth, and I appreciate it. And the porters and every other lady and gentleman who helped, I forgot all the names, but everybody that pitched in and did such a great job helping us. I want to thank everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. We had a great time. Even saw the fireworks.
And the fireworks, yeah.
Do I have a motion to waive the reading of the minutes and take the motion?
I so move.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded that we waive the minutes of the reading since they have been posted. The manager's report.
Good evening, everybody. I've got a number of things to talk about tonight. The first one, I'm going to talk about some of the pressure washing we've been doing around the community. George has been doing quite a bit, and he did a beautiful job on the dock back here. If you haven't seen it, I mean, beautiful job. So that is going to continue. We're picking out the worst areas and we're going to clean those as they come. Last month, we said we were going to work on some of the drainage and some of the swales in the community. We'd even spoken to a contractor about coming in and doing so. As we got ready to start, we decided that we should hold off on this because the way that the weather has been and the rains that we've gotten, if we went ahead and started to open these swales up, basically we were going to make a much bigger mess than we even have now, and we have a mud hole. So the option is bring in one of these big companies with a lot more manpower that can accommodate doing it in this time of year because they can cover things up and do things like that. That's going to be a lot more of an expense. So what we've decided is we're going to sit tight and do it in the dry season. So we'll revisit this in the fall. Earlier this month we had an issue at building 201 related to the fire alarm. The panel basically went bad. In the past we've been able to replace just the control boards, but they're getting harder and harder to find because they are so outdated for what's out there now. We brought our fire alarm company that we've worked with for the past few years in, and they seem to be under new management, and they were trying to really get us for a lot of money. They quoted us something over $5,000 to replace the panel, and then they wanted us to do drawings and get permits and do all these different things. So we went ahead and terminated our relationship with that company pretty quickly after we got the gist of what was going on. And when we reached out to other vendors, got in touch with one called CT Fire Protection, and they were able to work with the fire department to get them to allow us to install this new panel in an emergency situation, so we didn't have to be on fire watch for days while we wait for a permit to come through, which was very good. And rather than 5,000 plus, the total was 1,500. So they're going to be our new provider, and they'll be here doing the inspections in August and checking all the fire extinguishers and all that type of stuff. And I think we have a good find here with this company. It seems like they've been around and have a lot of good recommendations, and they sure did the job a lot cheaper than we were looking at, and they got it done fast, which was really important. This month we were having some problems with the magnetic locks that handle the pool gates, and it was a relay in the system, so it was a pretty simple fix, and that was addressed. We had started working on upgrading the street lighting around the community, and we had to stop when we ran out of street lights, and we ordered more, but it took a while for us to get them. I guess they went back order. It's a popular model that we had chosen, but they are finally in. Brett has already installed a few of them, and he's going to be continuing. So you'll see him out there, and hopefully you like the new lighting. We've had nothing but compliments so far. As soon as this phase is completed, I think the Safety and Security Committee is going to take another look at the community, and I'll take one last look at the budget. We'll see maybe we can squeeze a few more in there if the need is there and we want to continue to upgrade. We're going to begin construction of a new fence around the maintenance yard. Some of you may know that area well, others may not venture back there too often, but the fence that borders it is in really bad shape. And that's something we've intended to do for a while, and now we're actually going to do it. As far as the roofing, the construction portion, or the significant construction portion of the roofing is complete. They completed all 19 roofs in under 3 months, which is pretty impressive. Overall, we're pleased with the job. Gutters are coming. I think they're on the 4th or 5th out of those 18 buildings, and if they can't get the job done, we have plans to do whatever's necessary to get it done. But if there's any interior damage, we've done inspections on just about every unit. We're going through and punching out any little bit of damage that sometimes can get caused from them bouncing up and down on the roof like that. If you have any that hasn't been addressed, or maybe we may have missed, let us know. We will check into it. It's going to take us a little bit of time, I guess. For those of you who live in the villas with the skylights, that's where most of you have a little popcorn that has come down due to the brittleness of it being hit with the sun through the window all those years when they wiggled the skylight off to put the new one on. We started that process of fixing those yesterday. Turns out each one's going to take a little bit longer than I initially thought. I figured we could knock them out pretty fast. So we will be scheduling that and going through them and making sure everybody is taken care of well. So, but if you're worried that we may have missed you or if there's something there, please let us know. We're finalizing the administrative parts of the roofing contract. So those of you who maybe had a nail in your tire that we're going to reimburse you for or something like that, thank you for your patience, and we'll get you reimbursed very soon. And the last thing we're going to do is just double check everything before we give them that last payment and make sure that we're happy and totally satisfied. So I've had some light talks with some of the cable providers interested in the community, separate from the committee. And this is very, very preliminary, but there are some competitive offers out there, and I think that in the end, it's all gonna end well, you know, whatever the board decides. So just wanna let you know that. And on that topic, our Comcast representative, Paul Oswald, he's gonna be coming in and he's gonna throw another pizza party, so, come on in and have lunch. It's August 9th at noon. And what he wants to show everybody are the different apps and different features that they have where you can go and adjust your bill, or if there's an error, try to address it through the app. And it may be interesting for some of you to learn, and it may help keep you off the phone with those great customer service agents if you can do it online. So it might be an educational thing to learn. Some of you may or may not have noticed during today's thunderstorms, our front gate was knocked offline. It should be repaired back online now, but you may have noticed that. That was probably due to lightning. That's typically this time of year, that type of storm, what it is. But we'll have more information tomorrow on that. And then I'm going to talk about something pretty important, and everyone should listen. It's not community related, but just last week, I had a resident come up to me and say that they had their air conditioner serviced for the regular service. And that the gentleman that came to service it was very nice and great guy, but said that the machine was all full of mold and terrible for them to be breathing in. And if you don't have us take the whole thing apart and clean it and install all this equipment, you know you're going to get very sick, and in order for us to do this, it's $1,600. And I heard it, and I said, you know, that something about it doesn't sound exactly right to me. And I talked to him a little more, and I decided to give the air conditioning guy that we use a call and just ask him the question of, what do you think? And he said that 99%, I was right, that it's a scam, that it's unnecessary work. And even if it were necessary, $1,600 is way out of line of what it should cost. So then he was nice enough to do us even additional favor. He was not too far away. He said, let me just swing by and take a quick look. And he came in, he opened it up, looked at it, and said, you need nothing. And it was a total kind of a, and the answer was that he said is, you know, a senior citizen, you know, either a couple or a senior citizen living alone, if they can scare you, you know, you're a prime target for this. And it's hard to know which are the good companies and which are the bad companies. That's the hardest thing. But there's certain red flags you can look for. Like if they want to sign you up for a service plan where they're going to come in 3 or 4 times a year for $100 total. Well, they can't drive the truck over to your house for $25 or $30. They're losing money, you know. So they're coming over to sell you something, or there's something more there. So, you know, keep that in mind. Anyone advertising a 1995 checkup or anything is probably, you're not going to end up paying them only $19.95. Know that going into it. And I recommend you stay away from those. I'm here to help you any way that I can. I mean, I'm not an expert on everything, but we do have a pretty good bank of vendors and contractors that we use that at least we can say are fair and reliable and aren't going to screw you over. It may not be the cheapest in town, but again, the cheapest sometimes can end up costing you a lot more. So I just want everyone to be aware of that. And if anything doesn't sound right or sounds funny, if you ever want to ask me a question or you know, feel free. If I don't know the answer, I'll try to find out everything I can for you. But I sure felt good, you know, that person didn't have to spend all that money, and I sure hope nobody else falls into that kind of trap. It's very important for everyone to be aware of. And then the last 2 notes that I have are just administrative things in the office. The front desk, we're switching over computer systems. We've pretty much been able to keep everything up and running as we do this, but if there is any downtime or you call for any reason, just bear with us. By the end of the week, I think we'll be back to normal. And then another, as we've been switching over our gate system and things like that, and people have had to buy all the credentials to get in, we've accepted cash as a form of payment. Now that we've kind of moved past that, everybody has that, we're not doing too many transactions. We want to move to a cashless office because it's just very cumbersome to keep track of, and to me, it's just not a good idea to have loads of cash laying around. So it's going to be checks or money orders only. You know, in the case of a very rare exception, maybe we make that exception, but we want to really stick to checks and money orders only. It's a tracking mechanism, and it's for your protection and for ours, frankly. And so I hope you understand. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Treasurer's report.
I'm glad to report again this month that the treasury remains stable. As Eric said, the construction portion of the roofing project is now complete. While we do not have the final numbers yet, we expect this project to come in comfortably under what we have budgeted. By accomplishing this under budget, it eases a burden going forward as we look towards 2019 when we have the next group scheduled. I would like to commend our president and our manager for negotiating excellent terms and pricing on the roofing system. Their negotiations really saved a significant amount off of the original bids. One issue that Eric has brought to my attention, he also mentioned here just for a few minutes, is that of our vendor installing the gutters has been unreliable. It is becoming an unacceptable situation. If this continues, Eric said he may have to terminate this vendor and bring someone else in who could complete the job in a timely manner. However, this would likely be at an increased cost. This happens from time to time in business, and it's not going to hurt us in any significant way if we choose to go this route. I have authorized Eric to do whatever is necessary in this situation because we need to get this completed. He said he would like to give this group one last opportunity to complete the job, but he is currently lining up alternative vendors so that in the event we decide to make a change, we are ready to move quickly with it. Since this meeting is a little earlier in the month than normal, I do not have the balance sheet and income statement for June ready to share with you. However, I will attach it to my report next month for you to review. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have a lot for the president's report. As usual, Eric stole all my thunder. But I would like to recognize him for doing just an outstanding job.
Amen to that.
Committee reports? Anyone?
No.
No. I have a lake report. This was for April, and for the January, February, March, really, but done on April 10th. And all of our results are within reasonable range, and the lake is clear, and a little pond floating on top right now, but basically it's a clear lake and very healthy shape. Eric told me, just informed me that our lake maintenance man said that he finally has the eel weed problem under control, which we had such a bad time with last year.
Sounds better.
Okay, does the committee have any old business to report? No? Okay, we'll move on to new business. All of you probably got this, and have probably heard on the news about this pregnant woman who was struck by lightning just outside her door. She was talking to her mother, I guess, saying lightning struck her in the head. And she was in the hospital for over a week. And I still haven't heard what happened to the baby. It was, had to be delivered early. But just a reminder that, especially here with the pool, avoid the pool. If you hear lightning or hear thunder or see lightning, give it 30 minutes. If you see anything, hear or see lightning, stay away from the pool for at least 30 minutes, because it can't strike without thunder. I mean, it can be right on top of you. So we want all of you to be careful. We had some reports that people were swimming while it was thundering outside. Of course, it was thunder and lightning. And so we ask you to stay out of the pool, come inside this building if it's lightning, and you'll be safe in here, as the article mentions that we have plumbing and electrical systems that will deaden the effect if the building happens to be struck. So be safe. Go ahead.
We've had units where lightning has struck nearby and fried out some of their electronics. There are options that you can do for surge protection. You can do it through Florida Power and Light, where you pay a monthly fee. If that's something, and I think they give you a certain amount of coverage that if your items are damaged, they cover it. There's also surge protection that you can just have. You can plug your TV into like a surge protector. That's not the best, but it's better than nothing. There's whole home surge protection that you can have. That's like what FPL does, but you can also have an electrician install it for you. You won't necessarily have that additional insurance protection that FPL gives you with that. But that's something to consider if you have a lot of expensive electronics or you're worried about that. And going back to what Tommy said about just safety and being outside during it, there was a news report that during one of the thunderstorms we had recently, there were 1,200 reported lightning strikes in Lee County within a 15-minute period. I've told our maintenance staff that if it looks like lightning, I don't want them outside at all. So I just can't reiterate it enough. It is serious. Every year we chase lightning around, damaging our irrigation system, our front gate here tonight. It is real. It does happen, and be aware of it.
Okay, next on the agenda is the condominium hallway flooring. As you know, I've mentioned before that we've had engineer report that the carpeting holds water, and the water seeps through the concrete and is not able to escape, and it rusts the rebar that's in the concrete and causes the concrete to fail. So we're going to look at an alternative and put in some dressed up concrete rather than just a slick floor like you see a rock, and see if we can't, if this won't be acceptable. And we're going to do a trial basis on one hallway, and it's going to be open so everybody will be notified, so everybody can take a look and see what it looks like. And then we can go from there whether we're going to proceed with that. I really don't see any alternative, because if we put carpeting in again, the next time, it's not going to, we're not going to get away with it. At the end, you'll have a chance to make.
One thing I'll say, is, one thing I'll say is that, this type of damage doesn't occur overnight, but over a period of 25, 30 plus years, which is right about where we are, we're in the danger zone to start thinking about this. Because if something were to happen, it would be a catastrophic accident, you know. So that's what we're looking at.
Okay, I'd like a motion from the board to alter one hallway and see if we can find an alternative to carpet.
I make a motion that we alter one hallway to find a different thing to use on our floors besides carpet. Outside, in the outside.
Do I have a second?
I second.
The motion been made and seconded that we do a single hallway and see if we can come up with a better solution. All in favor? Opposed? None opposed, motion passed. Okay, time for the answers, questions and answers.
My question was, you're just talking about the ground surface, the bottom floor.
Yeah.
The elevated floors are actually the ones that are critical. The ground floor, you can put anything you want because it's on the ground. But we're worried about our stairwells collapsing and things like that.
And stairs as well.
Well, the landings especially.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
You know how much it's gonna cost?
Well, we're gonna find out.
Well, what are you gonna do if it costs double the amount of carpeting?
Well, then we'll just have to pay double amount if we feel that that's the best alternative.
Where are you gonna get the money?
And I'll tell you, I will say just from, you know, I've priced out carpeting because that was what it was looking like when we were going to do. Carpeting, from what I have seen, is one of the more expensive options, and the reason is you have to buy the carpet. When you're doing like finished work on concrete, you kind of make that yourself. You know, they make that, so they don't have to buy, materials a lot less. The process may be a little more, but the materials a lot less. So we'll see, that's why we want to do a trial run in a very small area.
I would imagine that, I'm just now back, I just got back a couple of days ago, but we talked about this some time ago, like a couple of years ago, and we started that this room, and the engineers started talking about it, and I think we'll probably lay out a lot of options to look at. This is like textured concrete's a different style, and you can color them, and you can do patterns, and like whatever we can afford.
I think I had a picture of what it would look like. And I liked it, I thought it would be nice.
It's, you know,
Maybe you should post that so people can see.
yeah, I mean, absolutely, and that's really why we want to show them, because I think it is a nice look. Personally, from going around to other condo communities, I think, to me, the carpet dates the place a little bit.
Yes.
It's what they used back when they built those places. The newer places have what we're talking about.
Yeah. It looks really good too.
If it'll also be a little better, I think, for maintenance wise, as far as, you know, how we have someone out there vacuuming and cleaning our carpets every single day. Well, he's not gonna need to spend nearly as much time on each building because it's gonna be a lot easier to keep it clean.
Does that same concept apply to lanais that we have, carpet, indoor outdoor carpet only, if they're in a
We don't recommend carpet on mill and ice, so that's something that we can consider.
Would this new thing that you're talking about, would that be put on then, or is that just?
I think it would be, but I can't promise that. Well, I'm assuming that they can do that. But each owner is responsible for it, it's not the.
And the one thing we would want to check about doing it in the condo lanais is, well, and just messiness of them actually doing it. I don't know what type of equipment and things, tracking through your house. It might not be ideal for that, but we can cross that bridge when we get there. We're going to do the trial run first.
In two places, we did porcelain tile, and it's not that much. It's not, but it's not porous, so the water just goes on.
The important thing is sealing.
And you can get colors to see your patterns, like that. I got a kind of a lovely,
I'm assuming that you're probably getting close to completing your reserve period for carpeting, which would go toward the expenses. Is that accurate?
We've exceeded. We're
Way past?
Well, it was due to be done a year or two ago, but frankly, the carpet isn't in that bad a shape.
Well, I
in most
understand, but my
cases.
point is, Ronnie had what I would consider a viable concern, but I'm gonna say there's gotta be some money there that you just take for that, what I guess you would call it, hallway finishing or something, and take that money and you would legally be able
I'll
to
tell you
apply
the
that
number,
to.
it's right about 70,000.
Yeah, so I don't see that being a real legitimate concern at this point, if that's where you, because in your time cycle, you should be pretty close. The other thing I'd like to say about the lightning, about a month ago, Lynn and I were out and came home, and I turned the kitchen lights on, everything was fine. We knew there was lightning around, we saw it, we were driving the car, turned the TV on, it was gone. Long story short, 2 TVs were fried, 2 telephones were fried, and the air conditioner didn't work. So we called the guy that we use for air conditioning, and he said he couldn't come out, but he said, I'm gonna give you just a shot in the dark. If your thermostat's on batteries, change the batteries. And we did, and the air conditioner came on. So but we also, about the FPL thing, somebody, I can't remember who it was, brought that to my attention. And so I called them for $15. They come out and they put a surge protector over your meter. Anything you lose, any appliances that go through the meter are automatically taken care of. That was $9.95 a month. And then for another $5, if you take that insurance out, your TV and anything that doesn't go through the meter is automatically taken care of. So for $15 a month, you're pretty much covered on that. So that's just for your information. Annie's son's actually the guy that came out and installed it. But I can tell you today, we had all kinds of, even with what we've got, we had all kinds of flashing and lights getting brighter, then going dimmer, and when Linda turned her TV on in the back, it was screwed up for a while. So, being that we're in the lightning capital of the world, I suggest you take a look at that for $15. That's pretty reasonable.
Isn't it $15 a month, and if you go the upper price, I think our last job, I think 25, anything that is damaged in your condo, floor, car, light.
That's what the 15 is. The 10, originally it was 10 for if anything goes through the meter, but they said for an extra 5, it would cover everything else, your TVs and stuff that doesn't go through the meter. Now, they're like everybody else. I'm sure 15 next year is going to be a little higher, but still I think it's a pretty good deal.
If you don't have that, the thing to do, if you have your computer and want your big TV and you don't want to lose it, unplug it when the storm comes in. You may not feel like I'm plugging everything in the house, but go, I want this TV and I need my computer, just pull them out of the wall. And then the other stuff you can put it or something.
Of course, the problem with that is down here, you have it unplugged half the time.
Well, that's when people get tired, so maybe come up with the money. Because there's It's just a big surge protector goes on the outside,
I'm
it
sure,
sits on the
well,
outside.
and I'm sure the budget committee will take a good look at maybe giving us all 15 a month next year. I don't think it'll pass, but it is.
Well, now, the budget committee, we got money in the reserve.
Yeah, I understand that. Excess operating income, yeah, we could do a lot of
One
great
thing
things.
I think that you can also do as an option, you don't want that recurring monthly fee, is you can have an electrician come out and put on a similar type of surge protector for the whole home.
Right.
I don't know what the cost is offhand,
But, Eric,
but you're not gonna have that insurance.
you don't have
policy.
insurance, that's
So
just,
that's
that kinda helps.
The give and the take, so, but those are options out there.
Right.
The ones inside don't really help.
That's what,
But
we
yeah, if
had,
you get a really good one, they don't really help. You need that one that's out of the.
Linda
outside
bought,
the house.
Linda bought one for the TV, and when the guy from Comcast came out to help us with everything, cause neither one of us is a genius when it comes to hooking all that stuff up and checking and programming the TV and then the box and everything. And she showed him that thing, he said, it isn't worth anything, he said, if it hits, you're gonna lose everything anyway, and so, you know, those are not of great value, according to them.
Well, everything we've got plugged into a surge protector, you notice when the power goes off, the TV and stuff goes off, and then you turn it back on, the TV comes on, that means that surge strip didn't trip. So,
You know, if you sign up for that thing that turns your power off during peak hours, that kind of offsets the $10 or whatever that you pay for that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, they told us about that same thing
Yeah.
too. It sounds like, you know, you're a little bit leery about having them having some control over that stuff, but it's a good deal.
And they don't even know.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, very informative, thank you guys. Any other comment on the agenda items? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn immediately.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Say aye. You're sleeping.
Adjourned.